Right there.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
They're right there.
Sup, dude? Standing at 7'7" with a frame so frail a fart could knock him over, Manute Bol was the real-life Slender Man. But unlike Diddy Longlegs, Newt didn't kill children. The only things he killed were his opponent's shots and occasionally lions. As I just mentioned, the dude was 7'7", which tied him with Gorgui Murashan as the tallest player in NBA history. But when you take into account Newt's 8'6" wingspan, he becomes one of one. Murashan's wingspan was just 7'10", while still impressive, Newt had him lapped. Newt had Dr. Octopus arms. He literally had to drive his car from the back seat. Without bending over, dude could probably tie his shoes or at the very least scratch his shins. For obvious reasons, his condor-like wingspan came in very handy on defense. During his rookie year when he was 23 years old, or 30-something for all we know, Newt shattered expectations and shots by setting the NBA rookie record for most blocks ever in a season, with a mind-boggling 397 blocks. To put that into perspective, no rookie before or since has ever come close to this mark. It's one of the most untouchable records in NBA history. In order to achieve that, the dude put up some ridiculous performances. There were 3 different games where he had 10 blocks, one where he had 12, and of course against my Atlanta Hawks, homie had a mind-boggling 15. Those 15 swats tied him with Shaq for second most in a single game ever, behind only Elmore Smith, who had 17 back in 1973. Manute's shot blocking prowess was a psychological weapon. Opponents second-guessed every shot near the rim, knowing Slenderman could swat it into the third row. Not trying to be a dick, but that was pretty much all he was good at, and for good reason. You see, Manute had no idea what basketball was until he was 15. He grew up in Sudan, swatting flies the size of small birds and taking care of his cows. Basketball wasn't on this dude's radar until his absurd height caught the attention of a coach from the United States. That coach was Sacred Hearts Don Feely. He was running basketball clinics in Sudan, and when he saw Manute, dollar signs appeared in his eyes. He had to show everyone his discovery. It didn't matter that the beanpole had no idea what basketball was. With his height, the sky was the limit. Dude didn't know how to dribble, sure as hell had never heard of a pick and roll, and he was much more likely to kill a lion than make a jump shot. Despite his lack of skill, the NCAA yearned for him, and Manute wanted to be rich and famous. His first thought was Cleveland State, but that didn't last long. Eligibility issues had him sidelined, and he never played for them. This was because of 2 things. The first was he couldn't pass their proficiency tests, which, you know, I don't know what they expected. Like, no shit, he's not gonna know what y equals mx plus b means. Then the other problem was his age. Newt had no idea when he was born, so when they brought him over to the US, they just decided his birthday was gonna be October 16th, 1962. Cleveland State's coach believed he was way older, so Newt never got to play for them. Even though that didn't work out, Feely wasn't about to give up on his shot blocking freak of nature, so he sent Newt to the University of Bridgeport, a small Division II school where he immediately became a god. At Bridgeport, Bol was a condom for the hoop. He protected that thing better than a dad does the thermostat, averaging a ridiculous 7.1 blocks per game to go along with 22.5 points and 13.5 rebounds. That's all without knowing what the hell he was doing half the time. Dude quite literally just learned what basketball was. With his impressive production and undeniable potential, it was only a matter of time before the NBA came calling. And in 1985 they did. The Washington Bullets drafted Newt in the second round, officially unleashing Slenderman's wrath upon the league. He made it clear right away that he wasn't there to score points. His purpose was to make opponents shit themselves when they stepped foot in the paint. That purpose was more than fulfilled. As I talked about earlier, his rookie year was ridiculous. He nearly won Defensive Player of the Year, and he brought the Bullets to the playoffs. They were the 6th seed, matched up against the 3rd seeded 76ers, led by the round mound of rebound Charles Barkley. Through the first 3 games, Newt was a one-man SWAT team. He had racked up a staggering 25 blocks, which averaged out to 8.3 a game. Barkley did manage to dunk on him twice in a row in game 2, but cut him some slack. Chuck was like that. He was Zion before Zion if Zion actually played instead of being fat. Despite Newt's nearly perfect rim protection, through 4 games it was all knotted up at 2 apiece. Then unfortunately in the series deciding game 5, he got into foul trouble and only played 19 minutes. Without his D, the Bullets got cooked 134-108. 01-09. However, this wouldn't be the last time he made it there. The following 3 seasons, the dude was one of the best rim protectors in the league, averaging around 3 to 4 blocks a night. His long-ass limbs helped his team make the playoffs each year, but the Bullets kept lowering his minutes. As a rookie, he was playing 26 minutes a night, but by year 3, he was playing half that. This was because in '87, the Bullets acquired Moses Malone. Malone's arrival provided the team with a more versatile offensive and defensive presence at the 5. As a result, Bol's minutes decreased as the team relied more heavily on the skills of Moses. Because of this, before the 88-89 season, Washington traded Newt to Golden State. It was there where he slightly got back on track, leading the league in blocks for the second time with 4.7 a game. That year, he also got his first playoff series win ever after he helped the Warriors sweep the Jazz in the first round. The success was short-lived though. They lost to Phoenix in round 2, then they sent Newt's ass to Philly in the offseason. And Philly made it to the second round again, but sadly that was the furthest he'd ever go. After his rookie year, things just went downhill for him. A huge reason for that was on offense, the dude was flat out terrible. From 1989 to 95, he shot an abysmal 37% from the field. That's impressively bad for someone who's basically playing on a little Tykes hoop. His coaches probably drew up plays just to keep the ball as far away from him as possible. But with that being said, here's where it gets wild. Manute, despite his lack of offensive skills, showed flashes of a 3-point shot. In the 1989 season, he hit 23s on 91 attempts, which was quite the volume for someone whose shooting form looked like he was trying to ward off an evil spirit. But hey, the dude kinda cooked. 22% ain't that bad. Some years later in 1993, he even hit 6 threes in one game. As wild as his NBA career was, Manute's life off the court was even crazier. The dude killed a lion with a spear one time and paid for his wives with cows. That's right, he paid 80 cows for his second wife, which sounds absurd until you realize that in Dinka culture, the more cows you have, the more the ladies want you. Because of that, they did anything to protect their cows. One time, Manute was guarding his cows when a lion kept attacking, so he killed it with a spear. He left behind quite the legacy. Dude wasn't just a basketball player. He was a lion killer and a humanitarian. He donated most of his NBA earnings to help Sudanese refugees and fund education in his home country. While other players were buying sports cars and mansions, Manute was out here building schools and saving lives. The dude literally went broke helping other people. If that's not legendary, I don't know what is. Sadly, in 2010, Manute passed away at just 47 years old from complications related to a rare skin disease and kidney failure. But even in his final days, he was working to raise awareness and aid for Sudan. So what's the takeaway here? Manute Bol wasn't just a 7'7" shot blocking freak of nature. He wasn't just the guy who could block 15 shots in one game or casually sling 6 threes in another. He was a one-of-a-kind human being who used his height, his platform, and yes, even his cows to make the world a better place. Rest in peace to the real-life Slender Man. The NBA and the world will never see another like him. As always, I love you goobers. Thanks for watching. Shout out Nolan Fincher, Quinn Murphy, Sheesh, Bray Thompson, MadeZio2, HTL, and Tippy Lou. If you want to become a goober or dude like them, you can click the join button. Also, you can click here to watch my last video. It's about Bilal Coulibaly. Thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed. Bye, dude.